Okay, we're changing the brake pads on a 2018 Goldwing DCT. Probably the same for the other models as well too. We did the other side and learned how to do it. Now we're doing this side. The first thing is these two bolts here are the ones that are holding. You can see the tabs here. Those are the ones that are holding the brake shoes. And these things are torqued on. I don't know what the spec is for the torque, but they are definitely torqued on. So I'm gonna loosen both of them. Get them both off evenly. We actually pre-loosened them a little bit. This side was really tight. And off we go. One bolt. The trick also is to put everything in sequence. Alright, so we get those two bolts off. Now we have to wiggle this. Oh, and I've got an extra cable on here for some reason. So it looks like some sort of a sensor. So I've got to remove that first. And just wiggle this off. There's two nipples that come here that you got to get past. You got to kind of rotate it out to get it out. Now we've got the brake shoes out. We're not going to disconnect any hoses. We find now that we have to separate these two and use a little piece of wood just to be on the safe side. And then I can push the calipers back and get some distance, some gap in between these. Wood is even breaking. You can use a screwdriver, and we may have to use that because it's pretty tight. My wood is not strong enough. We've got a bigger piece of wood here. You got to be really careful you don't scratch the calipers themselves. So wood is always good, but this part actually you can use a screwdriver because it's the old ones. Just by way of information, I use my brakes a lot. I brake on before every corner. I'm learning about this trail braking, which means that I'm doing it right. I just need to learn how to put the acceleration on. But it does come with a price because I've got 10,000 miles, maybe almost 11, and I need a new pair of front brakes. But they're safe. That's right. I could probably get another 1,000 or 2,000 miles out of this set, but there's no sense in pushing the limit. Okay, I got that gapped out pretty good. And on the back side there's this spring here. Don't make the mistake of trying to release it, just leave it on. And then we can take the screwdriver because we need to pry, and I want to take the stationary side off first and just kind of pop it off, just kind of move it forward. There's enough room to do that now, and see how easy it comes out when you know what you're doing. Now this one you got to be careful with because you do not want to scratch the calipers. So don't put the screwdriver, don't put much pressure, if any, on those calipers. There we go. And that one's off. Okay. Okay, so these are the brand new calipers. There's the part number 06455 MCK-A01. That's for the 2018 Goldwing. And I take out the videos. We just discovered that these are actually identical, as best we can tell. You match them up and they're exactly identical with each other, so it really doesn't matter which side you put on, we think. So there's the old ones down there, and we're going to go reverse order. We're going to get the just blow out some of the crud in there. I'm going to put the stationary side in first. It has to go this way. This allows a little bit more room to go in. Now these will push against the spring. This spring here on the back that I showed you before is going to push against those. So you got to get one side in and press down to get the other side in. And this is where you turn over to your expert helper who will do it, because we need some help here, buddy. Steve, my assistant, is going to do it. He's got more experience than I do. So as he pushes it in and gets it into position, it's just a little bit tricky. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, and with a little fooling around, eventually it pops in. There's probably a trick after you've done 100 of them. Steve's getting way better than he was the first time. Okay. Okay, Steve, why don't you put the second one set in? They're right down there by my knee. Now, these ones that go up against the calipers, it's important to put the stationary ones in first because you'll have more room. Now you can put the calipers, the ones with the calipers in. It has to go the other way. Yeah. At the right angle. You gotta just press against that spring at the back and then kind of notch it in. Okay, we took a little fiddling, but we finally got it popped in. And then I like to use this piece of wood just to make sure that they're separated. Just kind of wedge those out with that piece of wood, would you please? Just not a lot of pressure, just making sure they're completely tight against there. Okay, go ahead, Steve, and put them onto the wheel. Just kind of rotate it back in. And there it is, it's slatted on. And now we can get the nipples up there. Okay, I'll put the 2 bolts in. I noticed my battery was getting low on my Milwaukee ratchet, but it should be enough to get these going.
Make sure to put them in finger tight so you don't strip them.
Yeah, I'll just do down a little bit of torque on both of them, just to kind of get them seated properly, and then we'll torque them down. And then we start to apply torque. And basically, that's it. I'm not going to put all the torque on. I probably need to look it up and use a torque wrench. But they were on there, torqued good. So that's how you do the 2018. Good job. Thanks, Steve.